the thing that a lot of people see, because it's like I have a graffiti background and graffiti elements, they would say like, oh, I'm a graffiti artist. But I kind of feel like that limits me, because then people either expect me to just use spray paint, or they expect me just to be doing murals or like things on the wall, and that's far from what I do. So honestly, I've started just coining this term. There's just like, my brand name is Mangoes, just whatever you want it to be, because that's my brand slogan. So when a lot of people ask me like, oh, what category would you put it in, I was just like, man, it's just Mangoes. Maybe it's not a category that's made yet. I do think that, because a lot of people say that my stuff looks like Basquiat or Picasso. So what I'll say is like, maybe in a realistic or contemporary art terms, it'll probably be seen as neo-expressionism mixed with cubism. But honestly, like I said, I don't have a term for it. I really don't even know. I don't even think it's a category made for it yet. So a lot of people, they usually go to art school, or they have like a lot of artists that are their inspiration that they look up to. But truthfully, I didn't go to art school or anything, so I don't really know any artists, to be honest. Like, I just would be doing me, and I looked up to a lot of graffiti artists. When the pandemic hit, I don't know, it's just like a lot of these things, like I just so happen to have a God-given talent, so a lot of these things are just in my mind this way. Like, I don't really know how to explain that to people. It's just the things that I see throughout life, I translate it in my mind, and it comes out like that on a canvas or the paper or anything like that. I used to draw all my life, so really art is more like a hobby for me. I didn't really start taking it seriously, I'll say, until 2020. Like I said, I used to draw all the time. It would just be something that I did in a pastime. During the pandemic, or when the pandemic started, I was working at a restaurant originally, and I was expecting to start back working at that restaurant because it was seasonal. But then on the first day back at work, that's when the pandemic started. So obviously, like a lot of restaurant workers, we lost our jobs during that time. I just kind of rerouted at that point, and I was focusing on clothes at first, but then I don't know, like it was just, I had a lot more freed up time, so I started painting more regularly, and it came out to be what it is where I'm at now, where it's like, this is the main thing that I pretty much do. Like, my inspiration just is whatever that I'm around at that time. So I travel a lot. A lot of my travels have been my inspiration. Also Chicago, just the influence and cultural influence and just influence that we have on the world. I feel like that's also my inspiration. Motivation. I'm a pretty self-motivated artist, so I set a lot of goals for myself that I want to accomplish, or things that I want to tackle, and then as I go through like just the timing of it, I might cross little things off my checklist and whatnot. But other than that, I could possibly say my family motivates me as well. Just those that don't have as much. I just want to be able to try to use my art to be able to just, I guess, get my family into better positions and things like that, and also just help the people that I see need hope. I think success is just what you make it. I don't think there's anything that we can judge based off of other people and things like that, because everybody's level of success is kind of different. For me, though, what I would see is that, what I would equate for myself to be like, oh, I'm a successful artist, is that I'm a household name, and I kind of live like either Picasso, Basquiat, or Andy Warhol. Those are my three influences, or what I would credit as to like what I would equate success as, because there are a lot of good artists in this world, and the truth of it is, in this realm, a lot of artists will never see fame in their lifetime. Me, I would judge a successful artist as that I can still be alive and enjoy like living and being known as one of the best artists. So that's what I see as success. I don't equate it to like financial or like anything like that. It's just being able to for real be alive and enjoy the fruits of this, and then people wanting you to do commissions, or you getting these larger scale commissions, Like, I don't know. I think just a successful artist in my eyes is the one that tells the story of the world at that time. The message with a lot of my art, I think, is just a lot of personal influences or things that personal reflections on the world. So I think that my main message that I try to push through my art subconsciously is that I feel that the world needs more compassion and better communication amongst each other. I think that way because so often all these bad things that happen in the world, I just really do think it's just a lack of compassion or understanding of each other. We just act on so many things, or because of things like social media or just a lot of mental battles that people have, we don't really want to talk to each other, or we don't really want to understand each other and anything like that. So through my art, I try to touch on those things where it's like, man, these personal things that I feel throughout life or that I see, I hope that other people can relate to it and just kind of attach themselves to it in a sense to be like, you know what, like I felt like I was going through a time like this. It's like my way that I see it is that it's kind of like how people listen to music or songs, and then those songs can help uplift your spirit, or they help you to be like, you know what, this song helped me move past this mood that I was in or this mindset that I was in. I think that mine is like a visual interpretation of songs, or a visual interpretation of what we mentally as a people think. Just being from Chicago, like I said, I'm not a typical artist, so my life path has not always been art. The things that have made me to the point that I am today have also like, it's just a very weird thing to think about at times, because for all of the sacrifices and things that I've lost or given up, I feel like that's what keeps me going, because I have a lot of friends, for example, like I said, with Chicago, gun violence is a very prevalent thing out here, unfortunately. But with that being said, like I've had my brothers, friends that I've known, just people over the years that I've known who've gotten killed. And before I even fathomed doing what I'm doing now with the art career or anything, they believed in me. They seen what I saw back then, or what I equated to back then as potential. They saw that potential in me, and that's what really keeps me going, is that life is such a precious thing that not a lot of people are able to live the full capacity out of. And I think that to have life, I can't sit around complaining that I can't get anything done, or I can't do something for the day, or that I'm tired, because like I said, I have friends, family, just people that aren't here anymore that were going hard, and I know that they probably would look down on me from wherever they are and be very, very disappointed to see that I had such a talent get wasted. So that's what just keeps me motivated and keep me going. Also, my son, he motivates me because I don't want him to grow up like how I did. I don't want him to have to face the trials and tribulations of what I went through. Like, it sounds funny, but I kind of want him to be like, what I would say, like, man, like, he's soft, but it's like, it's crazy as fuck to say that, because I don't really mean it in that sense. I mean it more so like, damn, like, he doesn't have to grow up in the city. Like, he's damn near spoon-fed in a sense. And I would want that for him, because it's like, man, you have more opportunities than what I had. And the perception of things, I could call it spoon-fed, but like, you absolutely are better equipped for life right now to do whatever the hell you want to do. So that's what motivates me. My dream project, realistically, is to have a solo show. I don't know where I'm gonna have it. Like, I want to have it in Chicago, because I have this strong attachment to my home city, and like, I feel that once the world fucking recognize, and then I come back home, and then everybody will be like, man, like, he did it. Like, that's my dream project, no cap. But I don't know, like, I really don't know. Like, I do a lot already as it is, so I think that that's really the last thing in my life. I'm like, man, I will feel full satisfaction for this, to have like a worldwide like solo show, or be like the first artist to treat it like a rapper, where it's like, man, I'm going on solo tour for like country to country, state to state, but it's just my artwork, that's it. I've never seen anybody do that. I feel like that'd be pretty raw. A dream collaboration, honestly, I don't know. I don't really. as arrogant as it sounds, as it's not even like that. It's just from my background being graffiti, it's really, really, really strictly on the fact of having your own style, individuality. You don't want to bite anybody. So I don't really be looking at what a lot of other artists do. So I would probably say my dream collaboration would be to work with a major brand. Like ideally, if Nike would write better contracts for people, I would definitely work with Nike. But I don't know, man. To be honest, I never really thought about collabing with people. To be honest, the best advice that was given to me was that I'll say two things. One, from my dad, and he told me this when I was 16 years old. The materials don't make the artists make the materials. And I feel that's so often overlooked because you see all these other people that be looking at what bigger artists or the mainstream artists use and the materials, and they try to, I mean, it's essentially copy paste what they're doing. And that method honestly does not work. I feel that that's how I was able to make my style, was once I like fully realized what that saying meant. And I just kept going. I kept trying things because at the end of the day, like, somebody gonna like it in the world. But like I said, I had a certain standard for a lot of things. And the second piece of advice that I said really stuck out to me was from my grandma. And she would always just tell me, like, never count anything that's not in your pocket. Being a creative is extremely hard in a sense that you never know where your next bread is going to come from, or things like your next job, your next opportunity. So oftentimes with a mindset like that, a lot of artists bank on landing jobs and stuff. And it's very discouraging when you think you're going to get a project, but then it doesn't fall through for you. So that's why, to save myself from that, it's just I expect the worst and pray for the best. Like, I pray for the best because at the end of the day, if I expected the worst, if the worst does happen, I can't be too surprised. Versus if I expected to land something and it doesn't come through, then I'm sitting there surprised. I can't have that. So that's what I say is the best advice that I was given. With time comes money, money becomes time. Like, you just gotta put in the time, and everything you want is gonna equate to, like, it's gonna pay off after a while. There's too many people in the world to not find your footing and your path. Like, I don't know. So that's what I would tell people. It's like, man, keep going. You never know who's gonna see it one day, or where the opportunities will bring you, or where life will take you. But to not try, you already failed. Like, if you didn't even try and you just always in the thought of trying, you already failed, because you got to put the action to your words. You got to put the action to your thoughts. So you don't want to live a life of regret where it's just like life passes you by and you like, man, I wish I could have did this, and that. Like, you should have just tried. If you fail, keep trying. All right, man. This Big Boss Mangos, man, reporting to you live. I'm here with Casa Museum, man.